Hello, everyone, and welcome to Spill the Pea. We have officially entered Nisan, which is super exciting. And this week we are diving into Vayikra. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all the things. As usual, we are going to begin with the story itself, and then we're going to dive into the deeper meaning. So let's get started. So we begin with Hashem calling to Moshe from the tent of meeting and saying, "Speak to Bnei Israel and tell them, when a man among you brings an offering to Hashem from animals, from the cattle, or from the flock, shall you bring your offering. If one's offering is an elevation offering from the cattle, he shall offer an unblemished male. He shall bring it to the entrance of the tent of meeting voluntarily before Hashem. He shall lean his hands upon the head of the elevation offering, and it shall become acceptable for him to atone for him. He shall slaughter the bull before Hashem. The sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, shall bring blood and throw the blood on the altar all around, which is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He shall skin the elevation offering and cut it into its pieces. The sons of Aaron, the Cohen, shall place fire on the altar and arrange wood on the fire. The sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, shall arrange the pieces, the head, the fats on the wood that is on the fire that is on the altar. He shall wash its innards and its feet with water, and the Cohen shall cause it all to go up in smoke on the altar. An elevation offering, a fire offering, a satisfying aroma for Hashem. And if one's offering is from the flock, from the sheep, or from the goats, for an elevation offering, he shall offer an unblemished male. He shall slaughter it at the northern side of the altar before Hashem, and the sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, shall throw its blood on the altar all around. He shall cut it into pieces, its head and its fats. The Kohen shall arrange them on the wood that is on the fire that is on the altar. He shall wash the innards and feet in water. The Kohen shall bring it all and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar. It's an elevation offering, a fire offering, a satisfying aroma to Hashem. If one's offering to Hashem is an elevation offering, a fowl, he shall bring his offering from turtle doves or from young doves. The Cohen shall bring it to the altar, nip its head, and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar, having pressed out its blood on the altar's walls. He shall remove its crop with its feathers, and he shall throw it near the altar toward the east to the place of the ashes. He shall split it with its feathers, he need not sever it. The Cohen shall cause it to go up in smoke on the altar on the wood that is on the fire. It is an elevation offering, a fire offering, a satisfying aroma to Hashem. When a person offers a meal offering to Hashem, his offering shall be a fine flour. He shall pour oil upon it and place frankincense upon it. He shall bring it to the sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, one of whom shall scoop his 3 fingers full from it, from its fine flour and from its oil, as well as all its frankincense. And the Cohen shall cause its memorial portion to go up in smoke upon the altar, a fire offering, a satisfying aroma to Hashem. The remnant of the meal offering is for Aaron and his sons, most holy from the fire offerings to Hashem. When you offer a meal offering that is baked in the oven, it shall be a fine flour, unleavened loaves mixed with oil, or unleavened wafers smeared with oil. If your offering is a meal offering on the pan, it shall be a fine flour mixed with oil. It shall be unleavened. You shall break it into pieces and pour oil upon it. It is a meal offering. If your offering is a meal offering in a deep pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. You shall present to Hashem the meal offering. They will be prepared from these. He shall bring it to the Cohen, who shall bring it close to the altar. The Cohen shall lift up its memorial portion from the meal offering and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar, a fire offering, a satisfying aroma to Hashem. The remnant of the meal offering is for Aaron and his sons, most holy, from the fire offerings of Hashem. Any meal offering that you offer to Hashem shall not be prepared leavened, for you shall not cause to go up in smoke from any leavening or fruit honey as a fire offering to Hashem. You shall offer them as a first fruit offering to Hashem, but they may not go upon the altar for a satisfying aroma. You shall salt your every meal offering with salt. You may not discontinue the salt of your God's covenant from upon your meal offering. On every offering shall you salt. When you bring a meal offering of the first grain to Hashem from ripe ears, parched over fire, ground from plump kernels, shall you offer the meal offering of your first grain. You shall put oil on it and place frankincense on it, a meal offering. The Cohen shall cause its memorial portion to go up in smoke from its flour and its oil as well as its frankincense, a fire offering to Hashem. If his offering is a feast peace offering, if he offers it from the cattle, whether it be male or female, unblemished shall he offer it before Hashem. He shall lean his hand upon the head of his offering and slaughter it at the entrance of the tent of meeting. The sons of Aaron, the Kohanim, shall throw blood upon the altar all around. From the feast peace offering, he shall offer as a fire offering to Hashem. The fat that covers the innards, and all the fat that is upon the innards, and the 2 kidneys with the fat that is upon them, that is upon the flanks. And he shall remove the diaphragm with the liver, with the kidneys. The sons of Aaron shall cause it to go up in smoke on the altar, besides the elevation offering that is on the wood that is on the fire, a fire offering, a satisfying aroma to Hashem. If his offering to Hashem is a feast peace offering from the flock, male or female, unblemished shall he offer it. If he offers a sheep as his offering, he shall bring it before Hashem. He shall lean his hands upon the head of his offering and slaughter it before the tent of meeting. And the sons of Aaron shall throw its blood upon the altar all around. From the feast peace offering he shall offer as a fire offering to Hashem its choicest part, the entire tail. He shall remove it above the kidneys and the fat that covers the innards and all the fat that is upon the innards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, that is upon the flanks. And he shall remove the diaphragm with the liver, with the kidneys. The Cohen shall cause it to go up in smoke on the altar. It is the food of the fire for Hashem. If his offering is a goat, he shall bring it before Hashem. He shall lean his hand upon its head and slaughter it before the tent of meeting. And the sons of Aaron shall throw its blood upon the altar all around. He shall bring his offering from it as a fire offering to Hashem. The fat that covers the innards and all the fat that is upon the innards, and the 2 kidneys and the fat that is upon them, that is upon the flanks. And he shall remove the diaphragm with the liver, with the kidneys. The Cohen shall cause them to go up in smoke on the altar, the food of the fire for a satisfying aroma, all the choicest parts for Hashem. An eternal decree for your generations in all your dwelling places. You may not consume any fat or any blood. Hashem continued to speak to Moshe, saying, Speak to Bnei Israel and say, when a person will sin unintentionally from among all the Aseret Adibrot of Hashem that may not be done, and he commits one of them, if the anointed Cohen will sin, bring guilt upon the people. For his sin that he committed, he shall offer a young bull, unblemished to Hashem as a sin offering. He shall bring the bull to the entrance of the tent of meeting before Hashem. He shall lean his hand upon the head of the bull, and he shall slaughter the bull before Hashem. The anointed Cohen shall take from the blood of the bull and bring it to the tent of meeting. The Cohen shall dip his forefinger into the blood. He shall sprinkle some of the blood 7 times before Hashem toward the curtain of the holy. The Cohen shall put some of the blood on the horns of the altar where incense is caused to go up and smoke before Hashem, which is in the tent of meeting. And all of the remaining blood of the bull he shall pour onto the base of the elevation offering altar, which is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He shall separate all the fats of the sin offering bull from it, the fat that covers the innards, and all of the fat that is upon the innards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is upon the flanks. And he shall remove the diaphragm with the liver, with the kidneys, just as it would be removed from the feast peace offering bull. And the Cohen shall cause them to go up in smoke on the elevation offering altar. But the hide of the bull and all its flesh with its head and its feet and its innards and its waist, the entire bull shall he remove to the outside of the camp, to a pure place, to where the ash is poured, and he shall burn it on wood in fire. On the place where the ash is poured shall it be burned. If the entire assembly of Israel shall err in a matter, and a matter became obscured from the eyes of the congregation, and they commit one from among all the Aseret Adibrot of Hashem that may not be done, and they become guilty. When the sin regarding which they committed becomes known, the congregation shall offer a young bull as a sin offering, and they shall bring it before the tent of meeting. The elders of the assembly shall lean their hands upon the head of the bull before Hashem, and someone shall slaughter the bull before Hashem. The anointed Cohen shall bring part of the bull's blood to the tent of meeting. The Cohen shall dip his finger from the blood, and he shall sprinkle 7 times before Hashem toward the curtain. He shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar that is before Hashem, which is in the tent of meeting, and all the remaining blood shall he pour onto the base of the elevation offering altar, which is at the entrance of the tent of meeting. He shall separate all its fats from it and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar. He shall do to the bull as he had done to the sin offering bull. So shall he do to it. Thus shall the Cohen provide them atonement, and it shall be forgiven them. He shall remove the bull to the outside of the camp and burn it as he had burned the first bull. It is a sin offering of the congregation. When a ruler sins and commits one from among all the Aseret Adibrot of Hashem, his God, that may not be done unintentionally, and becomes guilty, if the sin that he committed becomes known to him, he shall bring his offering, a male goat unblemished. He shall lean his hands on the head of the goat, and he shall slaughter it in the place he would slaughter the elevation offering before Hashem. It is a sin offering. The Cohen shall take from the blood of the sin offering with his forefinger and place it upon the horns of the elevation offering altar, and he shall pour its remaining blood upon the base of the elevation offering altar. And he shall cause all its fats to go up in smoke on the altar, like the fats of the feast peace offering. Thus shall the Cohen provide him atonement for his sin, and it shall be forgiven him. If an individual person from among the people of the land shall sin unintentionally by committing one of the Aseret Adibrot of Hashem that may not be done, and he becomes guilty, if his sin that he committed becomes known to him, he shall bring as his offering a she-goat unblemished for the sin that he committed. He shall lean his hands upon the head of the sin offering, and he shall slaughter the sin offering in the place of the elevation offering. The Cohen shall take from its blood with his forefinger and place it on the horns of the elevation offering altar. And he shall pour the remaining blood upon the base of the altar. He shall remove all of its fats, as the fat had been removed from upon the feast peace offering. And the Cohen shall cause it to go up in smoke on the altar as a satisfying aroma to Hashem. And the Cohen shall provide him atonement, and it shall be forgiven him. If he shall bring a sheep as his offering for a sin offering, he shall bring a female unblemished. He shall lean his hands upon the head of the sin offering. He shall slaughter it for a sin offering in the place where he would slaughter the elevation offering. The Cohen shall take from the blood of the sin offering with his forefinger and place it upon the horns of the elevation offering altar. And he shall pour all its remaining blood on the base of the altar. He shall remove all its fat, as the fat would be removed for the feast peace offering sheep. And the Cohen shall cause them to go up in smoke on the altar, on the fires of Hashem. And the Cohen shall provide him atonement for his sin that he committed, and it shall be forgiven him. If a person will sin, if he accepted a demand for an oath, and he is a witness, either he saw or he knew, if he does not testify, he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a person will have touched any contaminated object, whether the contaminating carcass of a beast, the contaminating carcass of an animal, or the contaminating carcass of a creeping animal, but it was concealed from him, and he is contaminated and became guilty. Or if he will touch a human contamination in any manner of its contamination, through which he can become contaminated, but it was concealed from him, and then he knew, and he became guilty. Or if a person will swear, expressing with his lips to do harm or to do good, anything that a person will express in an oath, but it was concealed from him, and then he knew, and he became guilty regarding one of these matters. When one shall become guilty regarding one of these matters, he shall confess what he had sinned. He shall bring as his guilt offering to Hashem for his sin that he committed a female from the flock, a sheep or a goat for a sin offering, and the Cohen shall provide him atonement for his sin. But if his means are insufficient for a sheep or a goat, then he shall bring as his guilt offering for that which he sinned 2 turtle doves or 2 young doves to Hashem, one for a sin offering and one for an elevation offering. He shall bring them to the Cohen, who shall offer the first one that is for a sin offering. He shall nip its head, nape, but not separate it. He shall sprinkle the blood of the sin offering upon the wall of the altar, and the remainder of the blood he shall press out towards the base of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall make the second one an elevation offering according to its law. The Cohen shall provide him atonement for his sin that he committed, and it shall be forgiven him. But if his means are insufficient for 2 turtle doves or 2 young doves, then he shall bring as his guilt offering for that which he sinned a 10th ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall not place oil on it, nor shall he put frankincense on it, for it is a sin offering. He shall bring it to the Cohen, and the Cohen shall scoop his 3 fingers full as its memorial portion, and cause it to go up in smoke on the altar, on the fires of Hashem. It is a sin offering. The Cohen shall provide him atonement for the sin that he committed regarding any of these, and it will be forgiven him. And it shall belong to the Cohen like the meal offering. Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, if a person commits treachery and sins unintentionally against Hashem's holies, he shall bring his guilt offering to Hashem, an unblemished ram from the flock, with a value of silver shekel, according to the sacred shekel for a guilt offering. For what he has deprived the sanctuary, he shall make restitution and add a fifth to it and give it to the Cohen. Then the Cohen shall provide him atonement with the ram of the guilt offering, and it shall be forgiven him. If a person will sin and will commit one of all of the Aseret Adibrot of Hashem that may not be done, but he did not know and became guilty, he shall bear his iniquity. He shall bring an unblemished ram from the flock of the proper value as a guilt offering to the Cohen. And the Cohen shall provide him atonement for the inadvertence that he committed unintentionally, and he did not know, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a guilt offering. He has become guilty before Hashem. Hashem spoke to Moshe, saying, if a person will sin and commit a treachery against Hashem by lying to his comrade regarding a pledge or a loan or a robbery, or by defrauding his comrade, or he found a lost item and denied it, and he swore falsely about any of all of the things that a person can do and sin thereby, so it shall be that when he will sin and become guilty, he shall return the robbed item that he robbed, or the proceeds of his fraud, or the pledge that was left with him, or the last item that he found, or anything about which he had sworn falsely. He shall repay its principal and add a fifth to it. He shall give it to its owner on the day he admits his guilt. And he shall bring his guilt offering to Hashem, an unblemished ram from the flock of the proper value as a guilt offering to the Cohen. The Cohen shall provide him atonement before Hashem, and it shall be forgiven him for any of all of the things he might do to incur guilt. So this is where we end. We go back to the beginning. We just finished the book of Shemot, and we open with Vayikra el Moshe. Translation, and he called to Moshe. This whole book is called Vayikra. So let's go a little bit broad for a moment. We had Bereshit, where we understand the first layers. We had Adam and Chava give us the full cycle of starting in light, close to Hashem, being swayed to darkness, and eventually coming back. Noach gave us the understanding of what it truly means to align and live your purpose no matter what comes outside of you. Avraham and Sarah gave us a tangible blueprint of the balance that we need to foster more light into the world. Isaac being the balance that leads Yaakov to be able to step into alignment as Israel. Then we go to Shemot, and from Israel, we expand and become the 12 tribes. And there we have Yosef, who taught us the importance of allowing ourselves to flow into a moment instead of forcing it. Then Moshe showing us many layers of this. As Chava and Adam, Moshe was born into light, separated from his mother, then returned early in life. Same cycle repeats later as well. Moshe then, like Noach, had to stand tall and remain himself in a world that opposed him. Like Avraham, he left and found connection and balance. Like Isaac, he had to be willing to sacrifice who he was. His balance led him to alignment like Yaakov. And through that, his awareness, connection, understanding expanded that he had the access as a divine channel like Yosef. So Moshe is kind of a culmination of everything. And we are now at a place where after the Mishkan, the tabernacle, after he has fully created a vessel, become the vessel that is capable of holding the light, he is called to an even higher level by the Creator. Before now, Moshe had to go out and seek the Creator. He had to call to the Creator, had to go to all sorts of places to commune with the Creator. With the Mishkan, there is a dwelling, and the Creator is now calling to Moshe. So why does this matter for us? First of all, the Creator wants to know that you are an active participant because a lot of people don't like to be. Your friends, your family members, your coworkers, whoever that complain, or you for that matter, You have constant complaints and zero effort. You are not the Mishkan that the Creator is going to come to and actively call to. Why? Because creation, growth, elevation, bringing light into this world requires participation. We love to call the annoying kid in class the teacher's pet because they constantly want to ask questions, constantly want to be involved. But what happens? The teacher begins to rely on them. The teacher knows that they can trust that this kid is going to show up. Similar concept. If the creator can't trust that you're going to stand up and be responsible, why would he call you? Why would he call on you? Second of all, in line with that, it's showing us the reward, if we want to call it that, for choosing to exist in an aligned state, choosing to integrate the understandings of the creator, choosing to embody the light. How do we integrate? First of all, what are we meant to integrate? Okay, so we're going to go a little deep for a moment, so stay with me. At another point, we'll go through all of the Aseret HaDibrot on a deeper level, but right now we're just going to touch one of them. So we have the Aseret HaDibrot that says, honor your father and your mother. Now, yes, we can take it literally. However, this isn't as much of a well, duh moment as we think it is. Who are said to be our father and our mother? Avraham and Sarah. Why? Avraham represents the masculine, but he also represents chesed, abundant giving, kindness. Sarah represents the feminine, gevura, discernment, boundaries, strength. So what is one way to become the vessel, the mishkan? By honoring your father and your mother. We were not placed here on this earth to be people pleasers or to be doormats, to just give to people because, well, to be the light means to give. No, that is a gross misunderstanding, and that's why you're not a mishkan. Discernment allows you to understand that saying no is just as beautiful, and it's also just as giving as saying yes. We have come to confuse being nice with being good, and they are two completely different things. Being nice is chesed, Avraham. Who doesn't want to be like Avraham Avinu? But if there was no Sarah, then there would be no us. To be good is to understand that, yes, I will give, and I will also have healthy, functional, effectively communicated boundaries. Overgiving leads to entitlement, which is exactly why socialism doesn't work. Anyways, entitlement is demanding, nasty. Most of the time, the person that's demanding doesn't actually deserve what they're requesting. Now, on the other side, having too many boundaries where you become rigid is also not a good thing. If you always say no, how can you ever receive? If you always say no, how can you ever connect? So, one of the ways to integrate to become the Mishkan is to honor your father and your mother. So, going back, when we begin to embody, integrate the instructions, the Aseret HaDibrot, you become the vessel, the Mishkan. And when you are the vessel, you are the Shekhinah. You are the place that has proven itself trustworthy to not only hold the light of the Creator, but to continue to use the light and emanate that light as a lighthouse and not a firework. Both are light. One is steady, consistent, reliable, giving but contained, and the other is reactive, flighty, all over the place. Only one of those is a Shekhinah. We're only 3 words in. So now we're moving on. And it's easy to assume that this whole parsha is about blood and gore and violence, which it kind of is. I wouldn't want to deal with kidneys and diaphragms or all the blood, but let's understand the types of offerings. We have, I think, 4 or 5 different offerings discussed here: the elevation offering, the meal offering, the peace offering, the sin offering, and the guilt offering. 5. So first we have the elevation offering. In Hebrew, it's olah. It means that which rises up, or ascends. This is complete giving, surrender. When you reach the point of surrender, you're in a mindset that says, everything that I do, everything that I say, etc., is for a higher good. It's for the sake of my alignment with the Creator, for the sake of fulfilling the purpose that I have been honored with. To reach this state, you are no longer reacting because it feels good to tell someone off because they told you off. You're no longer reacting because someone cut you off in traffic. An elevation or Ola offering says, I understand that you are here to teach me something, a lesson, patience. Through patience, I can find stillness. In that stillness, I can choose to connect to the Creator and seek out His light. And as I become the vessel that seeks Him, He will trust me with more light to shine in this world. This is what people mean when they talk about transmutation or alchemy. Those words have been thrown around so much now that they've kind of lost their meaning. And a lot of people don't even really understand what it means, what they're actually saying when they say those words. They say them so loosely just so that they can seem like they're spiritual, but actions speak louder than words. Also, the Ola offerings were meat. Meat symbolizes the physical, like action. So you are giving your action over to surrender, choosing to respond instead of to react. So next we have the meal offering. Another slight mistranslation. In Hebrew, it's mincha, which means like a gift or a tribute. The mincha offering is unleavened flour. Where do we know about unleavened bread? First, bread is symbolizing inner nourishment. So we want to give from the inside, from a place that is unleavened. What does it mean to be an unleavened person? Not to allow your ego, your emotions to drive all of your reactions. It is absolutely human to experience emotions. That's why we hear people talk about this whole spiritually bypassing thing. Again, another term that's been overused and misunderstood. What does spiritual bypassing mean? It goes back to that being nice versus being good thing. Spiritual bypassing means, well, I know I have this emotion. I'm sad or I'm angry or I'm frustrated, but I need to stay nice and stay happy all the time. Spiritual bypassing is another woo-woo word for emotional avoidance. Emotions are an open door to connect to the Creator. We are here to experience the dark or negative emotions so that we can choose to integrate the Aseret Adibrot, become the Mishkan, and transmute those emotions into light. This is like a mincha offering. But if you allow your emotions to take the driver's seat and you become angry, which is often deeply layered sadness or hurt, but if you allow your anger to allow you to react in a verbal assault or physical assault or vengeance in any way, you miss the whole mincha. Also, this offering is done with frankincense, which is understood and recognized as a tool that cleanses energies. Now we have the peace offering. In Hebrew, it's shelamim, which is also wholeness. On a quick side note, can we please go back to saying shalom with intention and elevation? It has become casually understood as hello and goodbye, but it actually means wholeness, union, unity, echad. So when you're saying this to someone, you aren't just like, hey girl. No, you are saying, I am opening myself to our connection and union because we are all echad. So the Shelamim offerings. Again, animals. However, this time, male and female. When you speak to someone from a place of understanding that we are all connected, in other words, offering people grace, you're more willing to adjust your actions and your behaviors. This is also very much related to when Rabbi Akiva said, Ve'ahavta le'reacha kamocha. Translation, love your neighbor as you love yourself. Now, I actually love this quote. However, I see challenges in this quote because most people nowadays do love their neighbors as they love themselves. They are critical and judgmental of themselves, so they are critical and judgmental of other people. They are mean to themselves, so they are mean to other people. So I find the quote very interesting because we treat people how we treat ourselves. So then we have this other quote, treat people how you want to be treated. But most people don't know how they want to be treated because they haven't ever been honest with themselves enough or still with themselves enough to know what they truly like and what they don't like and what feels good and aligned and whole within them. So, what do? Remember shalom. Breathe as one with your neighbor. What does it mean? We are all energetic beings and we can sense consciously or unconsciously when something is off. So if you take a breath, it allows you, first of all, to connect with yourself. And then you can feel the difference in breath between your energetic field and the energetic field that is sharing space with you in any moment. If I can sense that your breath is shallow and heavy and fast, and I know that my breath is slow, full, and measured, because I know that we're one, that we are shalom, I now can either choose to become one with your pace of breathing, or I can remain the vessel, the mishkan, stay steady and allow your breath to match mine. Okay, so now we move to the sin and the guilt offering. Again, animals. When you do something wrong, or when someone does something wrong to you, you expect a behavioral change. Example, your husband always dismisses your emotions. Every time it happens, you get upset. He says, sorry, babe, buys you flowers, takes you to dinner, is nice to you for a little while. And so then you're not upset anymore. What happens? He does it again. And then you complain that he keeps saying sorry, but the action never changes. Why do I bring this up? Because change requires action. Animals are physical. So when we commit a sin or have guilt, we need to take physical action, not only for the person, but for ourselves. I have to commit to not taking that action again in order to actually atone for it. Now, the Kohen also takes the blood and splashes the blood on the elevation altar 7 times. Why? 7, Shabbat, wholeness. 7 is shalom. Blood is what carries your soul. So your change needs to be blood deep. You can't just give empty words. So I actually quite enjoyed Vayikra. Why is this the first parsha of the first full week of Nisan? Nisan is about embodiment through alignment. People think that alignment means perfection. Unfortunately, throughout many prayers and also throughout the Torah, the word perfect has been misused and mistranslated. And it has created a toxic understanding and expectation of how we are meant to show up. We are meant to be aligned. So we had before the instructions and becoming the vessel. Now, the first thing that we're told is what to do when we make a mistake. Yes. Why? Because mistakes are a part of the process of becoming and fully embodying the Mishkan, the vessel, becoming the Shekhinah. So you need to know how to atone for your actions that are misaligned, or you will continue spiritually bypassing and being nice because you think that perfection is what the Creator wants from you. This is the biggest joke and misconception that has been perpetuated in all of ever. Life comes with flows of ups and downs, cycles of light and dark. It's literally the whole point. But when you choose to pretend that you're perfect, you don't get the experience. When you choose to pretend you're perfect, you don't get to experience those flows in a meaningful, evolving way. The whole point is to evolve, to go through the cycle, become a vessel this year, next year, become a bigger vessel, next year, become a great vessel, the next year, become a greater vessel. It's all a cycle. But if you don't hold yourself accountable to your emotions, to your mistakes, to your flaws, to your imperfections, you will never grow. So, to everyone out there trying to be a perfect Polly, welcome to the dark side. Because over here in the dark, we have the courage to see our mistakes, make offerings to atone for our mistakes, and come out on the other side a brighter light than we could have ever even pictured in our minds. Thank you all so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one.